Snooker League, O'Sullivan just ahead, 8 frames to 7.
16th frame, Stephen Hendry to break.
So now it's getting a bit serious. Ronnie O'Sullivan requiring 2 frames now as Stephen Hendry breaks off. Got the white right, but he's left a red into the side pocket. Stephen not very happy at the moment. He might be happier. No, he won't be. Could have been a kinder kiss for him. Might have a free pot here into the middle pocket. He'll go for it, provided he doesn't really leave a sitting red on.
Well, I just think that previous frame could be huge for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Up to that point, we hadn't had a fairly close frame for something like 7 frames. All the frames prior to that had been won by sizable breaks. But it was interesting to note, in the latter stages of that frame, which incidentally was the longest frame of the match so far, still only 15 minutes, Stephen Hendry just looked to be getting a little bit edgy. Showed emotion a couple of times, which we don't usually see. Oh, how about that for a reply? This is a wonderful piece of cueing from Stephen Hendry. Cue ball tight on the side cushion, covering 10 foot of table, perfectly positioned on a bolt cover. Well, he's elected to play the more aggressive shot, going into the pack of reds, but I don't know whether he's got a red available here.
Nine.
Well, he's got a little problem here. Just got to be certain what he's doing next. Stun run through. Yeah, that's okay. I think he would have liked to have been on the other red, because that would have enabled one more red to go.
You can see from that overhead camera shot just how much side Stephen Hendry had on the cue ball there to hold for position on the black. This time forced to go back up for the blue.
24.
Just about the right side. Should have an angle to come back down towards the reds.
$29.
Get another one out here, perhaps.
30.
Well, he certainly will here. He has to if he's going to continue the break.
$37.
Yeah, that's okay. Just takes a little bit of care over this one. Good shot. 38 in front, and really within a few minutes it should be all square in the mat again at 8 frames all. Can't see him making a mistake here.
45. $46.
This really has been an incredible match. There's never been more than one frame between these two players throughout. And just when you think one of the players is just starting to get in control a little bit, the other replies. This time it's Stephen Hendry's turn to reply, currently on the break of 49. Quite a few bolt colours amongst that break.
$51. $52.
He could go into these reds here. It's always a bit of a gamble as to what's going to happen, as there. Right, and he's missed it just at the wrong time. I think he's out of position.
Just didn't seem to go into that cluster with enough conviction. There was that loose red available into the left corner pocket, but elected to play the more attacking shot, but I don't feel that he played it attacking enough.
Yeah, good spot, Mark. I think that he wasn't too sure that he shouldn't be playing for that loose red. Yeah, I spotted that. The commitment on the shot didn't seem to be there.
Stephen Hendry, 57.
So he can still be overtaken in this frame. 5 reds left, 67 points, and he's 57 points in the lead. That's a good shot.
Well, that's quite poor from both players, considering the standard of snooker they've produced throughout this final. I was expecting their success rate on the safety department to be slightly higher than that. But there's another example there from Stephen Hendry. He's just trying to clip this red fine, send the cue ball back to the bulkhead of the table, but actually won't be too disappointed with the outcome of that shot. May have left Ronnie O'Sullivan a shot to nothing to this left corner pocket. When playing those shots, you need to make sure of the cue ball. Ronnie was intending to send that white back into the bulkhead of the table.
One.
He's still not home and dry, although he's knocked a red in, which is worth 8 to Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's behind and being squeezed. It still isn't enough to guarantee him this frame. Just looking a little bit unsure of himself at the moment. Not quite the positive Stephen Hendry looked before the interval.
No, Matt, but he knows just how important this frame is. If he was to go 9-7 down to Ronnie O'Sullivan, with Ronnie just requiring one more frame, you'd have to put Ronnie a strong favourite. But 8 frames apiece, it boils down to a straight best of 3.
Stephen Hendry, 1.
He's tried to put the black into a relatively safe position, but if Ronnie O'Sullivan was to pot a red and get behind the pink and black, I couldn't see either of those pots causing him too much of a problem. Now, has Ronnie covered the red in the middle of the table? Yes, he's forced Stephen to play the more awkward reds on the top cushion. And he can actually hit that red, but if he was to clip it, he'd be cannoning into these 3 reds. Ideally, Stephen would be quite happy to keep these 3 reds on the top cushion. Well, that's the last thing Stephen Hendry wanted to do there. May have been slightly fortunate, however. If Ronnie O'Sullivan hasn't got an angle on this red, there would be no value in him potting it whatsoever. Now you see he's taking the more difficult option.
Well, what a valuable pot that was. 53 points. Could afford to take the blue, but right, now he's got a chance. Got a fabulous chance now.
7.
So 47 points the difference, and 51 points on the table. So he's got a margin of 4 points, so he could afford really to take a couple of pinks, 3 pinks. If he takes 4 pinks,
8.
then he can only tie.
$40. 15.
Well, that's why Ronnie O'Sullivan played the more aggressive shot at the start of this break, refusing the easier blue to take the more difficult pink. Just needs to take a pink with this last red.
22.
Give himself a chance of clearing up the colours and winning this frame.
Oh yes, Mark, I got my calculations wrong earlier. So he can win now by
30.
1 point. And suddenly he's turned around and played it left-handed. Back to right. Have to be careful there. Oh, what an important frame. And this is down to Stephen Hendry playing a couple of shots of questionable value, actually. One was knocking the black safe.
37.
Probably could have done a little bit better there. It wasn't safe. He still left the pink on. He tried to knock black onto pink to put both major colours out.
42.
But O'Sullivan based this clearance so far on the pink. So that didn't work. And then the bad safety shot that enabled O'Sullivan to get to the table on this visit. So this one then, this
48.
black, for a terrific turnaround in this frame. Not easy. And it goes. That's important one for Ronnie O'Sullivan. He takes frame number 16 then. What a cracking frame of snooker. 59 to 58 with that clearance. Ronnie O'Sullivan goes into the lead now by 9 frames to 7.